Hello, everybody. This is Evan, obviously, with a quick little disclaimer before we get on to episode 112. This was, and I guess technically still is, our pre-Adepticon episode, in which we gave some predictions and intentions for what we were going to do. It's still a very fine episode, but if you haven't heard the news, I suppose there are people listening to this who might not have heard. Adepticon got canceled due to unforeseen, well, it was pretty foreseen, virus outbreak, pandemic, if you will. So, yeah, a lot of this information is, I won't say irrelevant. It's still going to be good to listen to, but obviously we're not going to Adepticon now. Having said that, we'll still be putting out content, and during that weekend, the last weekend of March, we are going to try to be more active on the Discord server, and by active I mean more so than we usually are. So, for example, we're going to try to have some hangouts through the day, try to get people on audio chat and have discussions and maybe some video, try to do some hangout and paint. We will come up with more as time goes on, but suffice to say, thank you for listening to this episode. It's always appreciated, and we look forward to more. I certainly have no excuse for not putting out content, since isolation is being strongly encouraged at this time. So thank you again, and here is episode 112. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodo Cast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode 112. My name is Evan Lewis. I am, of course, joined by Leo Andri.
Hey.
And Joe Latovsky.
Hey, I got a shout out to Jordan's cats, Indy, Chewy, and Solo. Not seen any theme with those pets. And a shout out to John's dog, Sadie. Love you, little fuzzy people.
Now, how many pet shout outs are we going to have per episode? This is going to get out of hand at this rate.
I don't know. I only literally like 5 seconds before you introduced me remembered that I had said that I would do that, and I had to go search in our only patron pets, by the way. I had to go like search in our chat because it had been a while since we last.
They're in the notes.
I looked at them. Oh, were they? I didn't.
They're yeah, you must have made those notes. And of course.
Oh, that's probably okay. I made the notes just so I wouldn't forget, but I obviously forgot because I don't see these notes anymore.
I wrote them down in my diary so I wouldn't have to remember. And yet.
Yeah, hit me up in Patreon Discord if you want. Your pets will love it when they hear their names because I know they listen.
Yeah. Like the dormice in Scrooged. And, of course, this program is always brought to you by listeners like you, most especially our patrons who are joining us live in patron chat on the Discord.
We do not receive public funding.
No, we do not. They cut that as part of the budget cuts.
I hear if you vote for Bernie, then we'll get some, so.
That was like his number 3 issue, I think.
Podcasters are making nothing right now. We gotta raise the podcasting wage to at least 30 cents an hour.
Enough with hardcore histories being at the top of the 1% of the podcasting.
I cannot believe a big corporation like Rooster Teeth is still up there. They've got a monopoly on these gaming podcasts. Look. We've got to bring everything together. Bring the little guy up too.
Podcasts for all. None of these Stitcher Premium exclusive podcasts.
P4A. Podcast for all.
You see what Joe Biden's over there is like, what's a podcast?
Podcast. God created men and podcasts, and the thing, the thing.
Can I grope it? But I don't care about it.
I'll nuzzle
I'm
it.
Joe Biden.
I approve. What? All right. But if you would like to know how you can become a patron as well, you should go over to jodocast.com, at which you can find links to the Patreon page, links to our Discord server, which is open to all. The patrons just have a special cushy high-rise chat room that they get to participate with us live. And you can find links to all of our other social media links. I think I said links twice in the same sentence. That's all right. And social media, so you can stay up to date on all the latest and greatest that we release, including these podcasts here, but also YouTube. We've got
YouTube's
awesome.
Really rolling.
It is. YouTube is rolling. What was the last update on YouTube?
Epic Duels gameplay video, which is such a good game.
Fantastic.
New videos every Monday, unless I decide that makes me want to kill myself. But so far, I'm hanging on. It's working out, and I don't want to die.
Oh my goodness. Well,
it's a lot of work.
That's good. Yes, editing is no easy task. But with that,
by the time you hear this, the latest video will probably be Legion.
Ooh, daddy like. All right, well, with all that out of the way, we would usually be talking about what we've been playing, but that does take a little while, and we didn't want to fill you up with an appetizer too much.
Give me 10 seconds.
Okay.
Count down 10 seconds. We'll tell you
10, 9,
Legion,
8,
Force Grab,
6,
VHS
5,
game,
4,
Loop and Chewy,
3, 2, 1.
Battlefront. There we go. Okay, carry on.
Thank you. Leo, did you want to add anything?
I'm good.
All right. I was going to say we were going to skip that because the appetizer usually takes too long. We didn't want to fill you up with bread.
That was a mint.
That was yeah. It was a mint. It was like the stick, the hard breadstick thing in the individual wrapper.
Yeah, it took too much, more time than you were expecting to, and by the time you got through it, it really wasn't worth it. And
you're like, how in the hell do I spread the butter on this dry-ass stick? Because we've got a lot to talk about in tonight's main topic. At least I think it's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be a lot. Joe thinks it's going to be a lot. Leo is like, why am I here? We're going to talk about Adepticon 2020. It's not something that we've talked about a ton in the past, but we have reasons this time. We're going to talk about what we want to accomplish there, what we hope to see, and what we hope to hear out of it. So, I'm going to ask Joe to give us the rundown on why are we going to this thing?
So, Evan and I are going. Leo is not.
We miss you already.
He could.
He's too busy being poor, I guess.
You should get more patrons.
Yeah.
Evan and I are going, because Evan is... I don't know why Evan's going. I think he's going because I'm going, and he likes me.
And it's not very far for him.
Right, yeah. And he's going to be my caddy.
Exactly.
I'm going because I earned a... I don't know how you want to call it. Lucked my way into an invite to Legion World Championships.
It's a major award. You won it.
So I will be playing in the Legion tournament. and probably get my butt kicked. But that's why we're going. I'm going to play Legion. Evan's going to ooh and ah at things, and that's why we're going. What is Adepticon for most? I didn't really know what Adepticon was for a long time.
I didn't know it was a thing that was, just basically outside my neighborhood for all, in the grand scheme of things until like 2016, maybe, was when I really found out about it. And at the time, I was not a miniatures person.
Because that's what it is. It's a convention for like miniature gaming. Wargaming?
Was that a question or a statement?
That was like a statement, but open for correction if that was not correct.
I'm with you. No, it is correct.
Okay.
That's kind of the Cliff Notes version of the explanation. It's a miniature wargame focused convention. It is big enough that companies like Games Workshop go there and hold their major events there, including their really big press conference this year. And that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to.
Much like Fantasy Flight has their report at Gen Con.
Yes, and I was trying to remember if because last year it seemed like they had lots of unstreamed press conferences that we had to like watch on other people's camcorder Twitch channels. I couldn't remember if they did anything last year or not at Adepticon.
Yeah.
I don't remember either. I think they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did they do, Leo?
Stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think that was lots of probably X-Wing 2nd Edition announcements.
Didn't they? Is that when they announced the factions, the new factions for?
I think so.
The Clone Wars stuff.
Was that at Adepticon or at?
I feel like that was.
They didn't have anything big like that at Star Wars Celebration, did they?
No.
I know they had announcements there, but I don't think, or maybe they didn't even have announcements. Yeah, it might have been.
I think they did. All I could think of was Y-Wings, but I think that's because we were watching it on the Gold Squad Twitch channel. But so I'm going to keep checking the website on Adepticon. Is it dot? I'll look it. I'll look it up what the exact URL is. But on the Adepticon website, I have to kind of learn how to navigate it. It works a little differently than some other ones, but I'm going to keep an eye on it and see if anything pops up for Fantasy Flight.
Yes, they did announce the course at Adepticon, or the Clone Wars stuff at Adepticon.
So we could be in store for some big news.
Could be. Like I said, I was originally would have been predicting that this is when we would see First Order and Resistance announcements. But I know back in, I guess it's been quite a long time now. Back in August, when it's Navarro, when he did his AMA thing, he said that actually was the plan, was in 2020 announce First Order and Resistance core set. But he said that they've changed plans and it sounds like they were holding off on Resistance and First Order factions for now, but he's also not with the company anymore, so who knows if those plans have changed again or what's up.
I mean, I'm fine without those.
I've got plenty of to assemble and paint still.
Yeah. So, as people, if they're curious just about what they could expect, I'm on Adepticon.org, and then you click their event list button, and you can search by Star Wars, search by Fantasy Flight, and they've got like a developer panel on the 26th from Fantasy Flight, so that'd be interesting. I don't know.
Are you going to that, or was it full?
I think it was full by the time I got a chance. By the time I saw it.
Yeah. See, I looked through the whole list because I'm like, ooh, I mean, I should look at other stuff, and nothing. Everything was either like, pay us, here's $50 to come watch a painting tutorial that I'm sure you could find on YouTube.
Yeah,
or
I was kind of hinky about that too.
Or here's all these things for games you've either never heard of or have no interest in. So my schedule's pretty open besides the tournament. The only thing that caught my eye was, and I'm sure it's still not full. I think there's a last chance qualifier for Imperial Assault Worlds, but then I would have to pack more stuff with me than I was planning. So I'm at least gonna like look at everyone playing and be like, oh, I should have brought that. And then I think you signed up for it too because there's some like Star Wars trivia happening.
Yes, and it's worth mentioning that you and I won't be alone. We will also be joined by Sugi from Knights of Ren podcast, also the host of Squad Tactica, the 40K Kill Team podcast that I've been able to be on a few times. And so, yeah, all three of us are going to be doing Star Wars trivia. It's an actual event at the con. And
I love Star Wars trivia.
And if we don't win this, that's going to be shame.
I don't know. I was about to say this might be the first time I've ever had an opportunity to do Star Wars trivia against people that maybe have the potential to do better than me, because I don't know. There's going to be a lot of nerds there.
Yes, there will be a lot of nerds there. I think that goes without saying.
And who knows, maybe the questions, because I'm a bad person and also a normal person, I make assumptions about people, because that's just what happens. Mm-hmm. The kind of person at Adepticon, you kind of already have a picture in your head of the kind of standard 40K wargamer. Mix that with someone who also is fond of Star Wars. Now, what kind of questions do you think they're going to be asking? I don't know.
Yeah, well, but then again, you also tell me all these stories about how you overhear all these other gamers, like in your store, talking about Star Wars, and they are always talking about that is totally wrong. So maybe
true.
they're all just maybe they'll all be a bunch of dumbasses there.
I mean, that's kind of would be sad, like just for humanity in general, but good for our odds of winning. I did like there was a gamer, a new one, who was learning Legion for the first time. And basically every stat that was introduced to him, there was like History Channel lore lesson on it. Like, oh yeah, this has weak points on the sides because the Empire was not smart enough to reinforce this part of the machine, and like everything.
I mean, they're not wrong.
But like, sorry, I don't know.
No, I understand.
Got me.
But I was just looking at Imperial Assault, and you are correct. There is a last chance qualifier.
Does it still have seats open?
Remaining capacity, 57.
Yeah, that's not going to fill up. And it's on Thursday?
Yep.
Because
at 9:30.
I got into because Legion Worlds, there's a lot of people in it compared to last year, which had 8. This year has probably too many.
Yes.
Because on Thursday there's like Heat A, and then on Friday there's Heat B, and I'm in that. And then anybody who went 3-1 on Thursday or Friday gets to play on Saturday.
Oh gosh, that's so much.
And then on Saturday, I think they cut to like top 8 or top 16, and then those people play Sunday. So since I'm not playing until Friday, I could play an Imperial Assault, but like, not that I would, because the people who are still playing Imperial Assault are like, obviously the people who care immensely about that game and would beat me. But like, what if I qualified for Imperial Salt Worlds. Do I skip Legion? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll sign up for that. Also, it's like, what, $25?
Yes.
$30?
25.
Yeah, I could do it. I don't even know what to bring. I haven't thought about Imperial Salt competitively in so long.
I feel like it would be much like when Leo and I attended the last LCG World Championship, and it was like, okay, everybody else here cares way more.
That wasn't Worlds. It was just the last tournament. It was at Gen Con. Worlds had already come and gone.
Oh, you're right. It was the North American, the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I could just build some list that I just think looks fun, not practice with it, show up, have fun, get to be part of the Imperial Assault community again. But it'd be like, oh yeah, you're that guy who made those videos, and then he stopped, and now we resent you.
And just wear your X Happens t-shirt.
I don't have that t-shirt. I will be wearing my Imperial Assault t-shirt when I play Legion.
You can order one.
Good.
I'm going to be wearing my Imperial Assault t-shirt when I play in Legion, because that's the t-shirt that I won my Rally Point qualifier in. Oh. And it's just funny to me.
Have you washed it since then?
Yes.
Oh, damn it.
You washed all the luck right out of it.
I won a tournament last week wearing the same shirt.
Wow.
It's wash resistant.
Ah.
I mean, it's good that you did wash it, because washing, okay, bracket this conversation. Wash your hands, people.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun at a giant convention.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not gonna like good game handshake somebody before. I'm gonna like just give a kiss on the cheek.
But like the fake kiss on the cheek.
No, sloppy.
No,
but then
sloppy?
They get whatever I have. I won't get what they have. I will spread my immunities. It's for their own good. I famously am immune to everything.
I always think I am too.
Except criticism.
You're immune to criticism.
I said except criticism.
Oh, except. I thought you were going to say like, yeah, I guess, don't correct me. It sickens me.
I wonder if I should go on like the Legion Worlds Facebook group, because there's a group for like putting out information before the event happens, and be like, should we come up with some sort of like hand gesture? Because I'm not shaking any of you guys' hands. What would be a Legion appropriate hand signal?
Live long and prosper.
Like you're shaking dice, but kind of right in front of your belt buckle.
Yeah.
Yep, seems good to me.
And then you wave at them. You like shake, wave.
Right.
Like you're giving them greetings.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Seems legit.
All right.
Yeah, so you know what? I've already talking myself back into maybe doing some Imperial Assault, because
okay.
I mean, it would be fun, and I have sort of resigned myself to checking a bag so I can bring my large tripod and some other games, so that perhaps Evan and Sugi and I can maybe make a gameplay video of Loop and Chewy or Outer Rim, or do a live video of Clumsy and Random. We're going to try and be pumping out a lot of video content. Well, not like, you'll have to wait till we get home, but
I'm going to try to knock out audio content at least, because that's something that I like to try to do at conventions.
Yeah, so there'll be podcasts coming out while we're there, and then after, there's probably going to be a big slew of video content of my experience at Worlds, and I kind of want to run around and like see, because I didn't see anything listed, but I gotta imagine there's going to be people there playing like the Wizards of the Coast miniatures game and other Star Wars games, and I just kind of want to track down people who are playing Star Wars games and be like, hey, it's a Star War. That's what I do.
Oh, and so I just searched Star Wars on the Adepticon event list, and it looks like they do offer some RPG sessions. Not a lot if it's being run by FFG, because they only have, like a Gen Con, it's 1 or 2 per day, and it's like 5 people per table. I'm like, well, I'm not getting in there. But in any event, I mean, they've got some RPG stuff there too. So it's if people are like, oh man, it's so close, but am I really interested in it? Maybe next time you feel like doing RPG stuff.
Well,
and
we're going to be doing some clumsy and random. Maybe we should just set up a little booth or rent a room and let hundreds of people come and listen to us play that.
I'd be happy with a dozen. A dozen. I'd be
happy. Well, I'd need at least 3, otherwise it would be a bit weird.
Yeah.
3 minimum. We're kicking you out if another guy doesn't show up.
Oh. There is an Armada Last Chance qualifier with 4 seats remaining as of the time of this recording.
Interesting.
What else we got? Oh yeah, and there's other Legion.
What day is that? I mean, I'd want to go look at it and be like.
Armada Last Chance is Thursday, 8:30.
I feel like we probably don't have very good reputation in the Armada community because it's been the one game we've kind of never given much attention to.
Yeah, and that's sad because, like I said,
the Armada people probably like,
those guys
treat us.
When I played the demo at Gen Con, I was just like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I really enjoyed it.
It's a great game.
Yeah. Last
time I played, I think, must have been the 2-player game at Worlds a couple years ago, but I think it's a great game. It's just when it came out, there was already X-Wing.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy more.
There is... this must be a non-corporate run event. It's because there's plenty of events just run by attendees. They just say, I want to run this event. And okay, you get to run the event. You're just responsible for ticketing and making sure that everyone has what they need. There's one called Star Wars Battle of Onyx, and it is a 2-part X-Wing and Legion game.
Oh, I think I saw that. But it's full?
Capacity is full.
But that's definitely something we need to go look at and see what's up and how big scale it is.
Yes, we're definitely going to get some shots of that. That sounds great. And then Trivia, Revenge of the Sheev will be interesting.
Just the name also makes me think it might be that kind of person that I've created in my head.
Oh, they exist.
Not... people like us who latch onto the word noodle scooter and chob. The more mainstream people who latch onto the word sheev.
Mm-hmm. They've got a Legion Learn and Play session, at least one. Looks like it's being put on by, I'm guessing it's a podcast? But yeah, I mean, it's a zero-cost event just to go check it out with people other than the FFG demo people. Which they do great work. They are always busy, those FFG demo people, but sometimes what they're trying to get across is difficult, and other people can do it better.
Well, if it's being run by a podcast, they're obviously super passionate about that. Not that the demo people aren't, but I know sometimes the people running the demos, that's not their bread and butter, that game. They know the basics and they're going to try and get that across to you.
Yeah.
And they maybe don't have all the answers to any questions you might have.
And I'd totally forgotten that in past years and this year, there are multiple Star Wars Destiny events.
RIP.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Oh, yes. Rest in peace. But I think I recall one of the very first big Destiny tournaments was at Adepticon, because that would have been one of the first major events after its full release, early in, what do we say, 17? So
Do they do card game stuff at Adepticon?
they sure do.
It's probably like Comic-Con, where it's big enough where they're like, you know what, just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is like what it's supposed to be about, but you know what, whatever.
Yeah, I think Leo and I are the only ones who go to C2E2, and it's like, okay, where are the comic books? And they're like, well, would you like to buy a Funko? Like, no. Where are the comic books? What else we got? Other stuff with the word star and the word wars in it. Oh, bless you, cat. Good old
That was a
X-Wing.
cat?
That was a cat sneezing.
I thought that was Leo.
Aw, Leo, you sneezed so cute. Pichoo!
More like your cat maybe sneezes like a human.
Aw, baby. What else we got? Hangar Bay. X-Wing Hangar Bay games. Man, I haven't thought about that in a while. So basically, it looks like just agree on a format, hyperspace or extended, because I know it. I have a better idea of what those things are now because I've been playing X-Wing, and so far I've been winning.
Good.
Even though I think my squads are probably hot trash.
Well, you could participate in that X-Wing thing and find out.
I could.
Is it full?
The Hangar Bay.
Yeah.
Remaining capacity 8. Cost is only
Ooh.
$5. $5.
Ooh,
5
do it.
smackers.
Do it, tough guy.
Could. Saturday at 10.
Are you a bad enough dude?
You know what? If I bring my power glove, that's pretty bad. What else we got?
I kind of think you should actually do it.
Snap.
Wait.
Dang old System Open is there too.
Oh. Does that have seats left? I doubt it.
Nope.
Probably need an invite.
Oh, total capacity was 264, and it is full.
Well, we're gonna have to go pop our heads in there and be like, hey, Star Wars. That's what we're gonna do anytime we see someone. Go, hey, you like Star Wars? Like, when someone sees you wearing a Star Wars shirt, they're like, hey, you like Star Wars? I'm like, no, I just wearing this shirt.
Yeah, I'm gonna get like a flip open badge with our business card on it. Like, it's okay. Jodo business. And we've got a question from Patron Chat, the good old Patron Lounge. I just imagine our patrons up there in like the high-rise, top of the world lounge at Disney, sipping martinis and cognac, watching the fireworks go off. Havoc Hobby wants to know, or wondering if they'll announce more Legion sets. And we did talk about that a little bit, how last year they announced the Clone Wars sets. And if this year was following that, I mean, an occurrence of one is not really a pattern, but, you know, a big company does something once, you kind of think they'll do it again. But, yeah, Leo was saying that
wasn't it during Adepticon when they announced the original game, too? The original core set?
I think that was Gen Con.
Maybe.
It was Gen Con, because
it was Gen Con. Okay,
Christian was covering that, and everyone was like on pins and needles, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Legion, yeah." But yeah, with things the way they are now, we're just not sure what state everything is in.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see at least some expansions or something. Like
even if it's kind of a small time deal.
I don't think we'll see new factions this time, just because of what Navarro said this past summer. But
yeah, on that AMA.
But yeah, there's going to be some expansions announced for sure.
And there's plenty that are still,
There'll probably be some new X-Wing stuff announced too. Maybe they'll finally give us a look at the Clone Wars stuff for Armada.
Ooh.
That was like a year ago when they're like, yeah, Armada, we'll get this stuff too. So, unless they're like hoping we forgot.
I don't know. I mean, hey, if they're focusing on making money off plastic crack, so they know whose buttons to push.
And I'm sure they saw an influx of, like, I feel like the Clone Wars stuff for Legion and X-Wing drew in a lot of new players.
Yeah, I knew at least... I knew quite a few people who were like, this looks good, but I'm going to wait until this group comes out, or that group, or this era comes out. So they definitely saw more people jump in with the Clone Wars stuff. Let's see. They got more Destiny. There's more stuff as I'm scrolling down. Standard escape pod. Side event, registration for on-demand pods.
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, what is escape pod? On-demand pods, blah, 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 blah.
Like escape pod, like with Legion? Are they doing the escape pod scenario?
That's a Destiny thing,
Yeah,
you said.
Destiny. I'm looking like if they just said like Destiny Draft or Destiny Seal, they were like, oh, okay, this is something that we could do, but...
if there was a sealed event, I'd do that.
I would be all about that.
I have not played Destiny in a while.
Oh, actually, here's something for you. The Star Wars Imperial Assault Continuity Project is having a regional championship.
That would be cool.
If nothing else, make contact with them and say, hey.
All right, I've been meaning to like make a video with that stuff, and it's really cool because, the game is done, but this is the group of people who are updating existing units or making new units, things like that. And it's a lot of cool fan-driven work, and I just haven't like looked into it too much because, I've got Legion going on and all this other stuff, and it's like... it seems really cool, so I'd want to check it out. I'd show my face and it'd be like, oh, it's you. Because, like...
that guy again.
The guy who used to be really into Imperial Assault. And I still say Imperial Assault's my favorite Star Wars game, but I just... there's other things for me to do right now, too.
Yeah. I've actually been tempted to start buying up Imperial Assault stuff. While it's around.
My game store just got an Imperial Assault restock today.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And of course the app for Imperial Assault and Descent, it's like, oh, don't you want to fill up these slots? You could add more adventures to the ones that you haven't even finished playing through yet. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
The Imperial Assault app is super cool.
It really is.
Because now you can play Imperial Assault. You can play Skirmish, which is just the head-to-head mode, which is the mode I put the most time into. You can play the campaign, of which there are a lot of campaigns now, and they're all really fun. Or you can play the campaign against the app. Or you can play raid mode on the app, which is... like see how long you can hold off against the AI on a single map. So there's 4 different game modes in Imperial Assault now. 2 on the app, 2 not on the app.
So is it more like horde mode rather than raid
It's
mode?
Essentially, yeah, it's pretty much, that's what the gist is.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I think there's 2 or 3 maps available for that mode. And you can even buy the neoprene mats for that. They just announced a new one. Or one was available or something. So if you play that a lot, they still give you the mats for that. I always found the mats for Skirmish to be immensely handy to have, but I don't play Raid enough to justify buying one. Mm-hmm. Even though they're nice.
Yeah, in fact, that made me go back and click on all of the maps, and like, there's a ton of those.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. I couldn't believe it. I think the last time I looked at it, there was like maybe 4 It's
Must have been. I think I have all but the first one and maybe the last 2 or 3. And now they're just kind of rolled up in a box, and I'm like, these are really cool, but they're not. I can't like sell them. No one will ever want them. But I've been planning on playing some more Imperial Assault maybe this weekend. Actually, been in the mood.
Yeah, I got to play.
Make sure you edit in some sexy music there. When Joe says he's been in the mood.
For Imperial.
That's a hell of a transition.
That's a nice awkward pause after that.
Yummy. And they got there's a Legion team event, and there's an Armada team event as well.
Is the Legion team event full?
Let's take a look.
I don't remember seeing that. We could partner up.
Legion team event, remaining capacity 1. So
Maybe
I assume that means one team.
It does. I just read the fine print. Team event requires 2 players to form a single team. So yes.
I mean, it could be that one person signed up, and they're going to provide them with a teammate, because I'm sure a lot of people show up who don't have a teammate.
I would certainly assume that if there's people who if Legion was the only thing that they want to do, they'd probably do that and just hold up a sign like LFG. Can you do that? Can you just show up with a sign that says LFG?
Well, when you got to sign up beforehand, that might be a risk. You might fill up.
Yeah.
Why would you? I would not sign up without a teammate. I can't imagine anybody doing that. That sounds ridiculous.
I think a lot of people. I remember people did that a bunch at the team games at like other worlds. Some people are just so awkward they know they won't get paired with somebody more awkward than them, and they'll be fine.
I can't imagine wanting to play on the team with some random ass. That seems like the worst way to spend your time.
Yeah, but if you are the random ass, it doesn't bother you.
I feel like that should also be on a t-shirt.
If it... I mean, what's the time slot for that? Is it 2 800-point armies? Because I'm only bringing an 800-point army.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Sunday, 9 a.m.
Sunday.
Cost is $30. Grab a partner and be ready for some epic competition in this team event for Star Wars Legion. Bring 800 points of your best and follow the instructions in the back of the rules reference guide. Oh, joy. I love referencing the rules reference guide. We will have one giant round of battle with plenty of time for you to make the most of unique card interactions found only when you bring 2 full armies to the table.
Do you got 800 points for the Rebels?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I do.
I mean, we could do it if that one slot available means actually there's 2 slots available.
Yeah, and it says
or
only
do
the
I fly
team
out on
captain
Sunday?
is required to purchase the event ticket.
Oh, okay. I don't remember if I fly out on Sunday or Monday, but I mean, I wouldn't say no to that if you wanted to.
I think you fly out Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
See?
That game, I mean, it might take like 4 or 5 hours. I don't want to...
It says the end time is 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a little close.
Okay. Do you guys want to hear my Legion list for Worlds? This way anybody listening will be able to prep to who's going to be at Worlds. They'll be able to counter me.
They'll be like, okay, there's the guy. He's got the... in the Imperial Assault shirt. That's him.
Yeah, but see
I've already identified myself.
Joe is the Goku of Star Wars Legion. He only wants to face you if you are at your best. So he's going to give you his information.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like he's going to walk up to the table and just start taking off like weighted wristbands and stuff.
I mean, that's essentially what he's doing. Yeah.
While his opponent is sitting across the table, like watching Joe's power level rise in his scouter.
And 2 little fivers.
It would be really fun if I put out a lot of like content on the forums and on the podcast and on YouTube about how I'm totally going to win and I'll kick anybody's ass. Just so that when I show up and I'm just kind of a nice opponent and I don't do super hot, people will be able to feel smug about themselves. See, I do it for people so they can feel good about themselves. And they go, ha, showed that guy. I have a 12 activation list, which I'm pleased with.
Okay, now I gotta know what the heck you're running.
I have, and I've played a couple matches with this already because I've been refining it, and hopefully the last Legion video I put out before Worlds will feature this list. It's Leia with nothing, R2-D2 with nothing, some Rebel Troopers with a Z6.
The proper term is naked, so say it.
Yeah.
Say it, you're running naked
oh
Leia.
My goodness gracious me.
Naked
R2. I've got some Rebel veterans with their fun gun, the CM093.
Okay.
Which, behind the scenes trivia that we learned via Twitter, that gun was not named in Star Wars Legends or canon, but the sculpting team and the design team saw it in like one shot in The Empire Strikes Back, and they're like, what's that gun? And it didn't have a name, so they got to name it.
Wow, that's rad.
I'm pretty sure we learned that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because it's a weird gun. It's like an organ grinder type thing.
Yeah, it's like it was, Luke Eddy replied to us when we were asking about that. And that's where the name came from. They got to name it.
Yeah. I don't know why they went with CM-093. Is that someone's initials who was born in the years 093?
And they really like the command line. Like, what's your favorite application command line?
Well, that'd be CMD.
What'd he say?
CM dash.
Dash Rendar. Ruining everything.
We got the Mark II blaster turret, which sucks, but it's a cheap activation, and lately I've been able to pull off 1 to 2 really nice attacks with it before it gets killed, so it's been good. I got Rebel Troopers with a DLT-20A, which is... These new alien dudes for Legion have been so good. Especially the DLT, actually having a range 4 weapon. I have 2 DLT squads. One of them has an R5 droid. I've got a sniper team with nothing but the sniper. My super fancy rebel squad that has the SX-21 trooper, which is the Ithorian guy with his little range 2 shotgun. The rebel trooper captain, which is the Ishi-Tib guy. Recon intel, and offensive push. These guys are just rushing across the battlefield to wreck somebody. They're like fleet troopers, but way better because they actually have a range 3 attack. So you're not like, oh god, don't die, get in range. And then 3 ATRTs with rotary blasters. And that's only $7.92, and I have an 8-point bid, so I can hopefully be blue player and make sure I don't have to ever see Long March or Breakthrough. I'm thinking about changing somewhere between 1 and 3 of my rotary blasters into the ATRT laser cannon because the new tanks are going to be at Worlds, and having the laser cannon with impact might be good. I'm thinking maybe switching 1, so I have 1 that's got the long range. But... I like the ATR. It's been a while since I've used ATRTs, and then I tried them again for this list. I'm like, oh, this is good. And having the R5 and R2, they're fixing them. Because they kind of die quick, but if you got that droid fixing them, it can be real annoying for your opponent who's just trying to kill one ATRT. And you're like, nope, just kidding. He's okay still. And a lot of troopers for objective stuff. I like this list. It works for me. I'm surprised I ended up with a list that doesn't have Sabine, because for the longest time, Sabine was like my favorite go-to piece to play with, and she always did a lot of work for me, but I ended up taking her out so I could fit in a lot more activations, and then squeezed in R2 because he's cheap and helps with the ATRTs.
So you're running light. You're pretty light on characters. And
Leia and R2 are the only, like, named people.
Right. So are you I mean, you just mentioned the fact that the tanks will be legal. Do you think you're going to have to worry about them all that much?
I don't expect too much of the droid tank because that got delayed and they specifically said, like, it'll be legal at Worlds and here's, like, the dimensions of the base and the model so you can, like, practice with it if you want before that. And this will be exempt from Adepticon's, like, painting requirements because it'll be so fresh off the shelves. Mm-hmm. So I don't expect to see a lot of that because I don't think a lot of people are going to bother doing that and, like, assembling it, like, on the drive to the convention.
Yeah.
The clone tank, I could see that showing up a lot because it's really good. And the Phase 2s are out and the Phase 2 clone troopers are super good. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see a lot of the clone tank.
This is getting a bit off topic, but we haven't had a chance to really talk about the new releases in a while. Is the Phase 2 clone mortar as useful as the shore trooper mortar?
Well,
it's very different because it's a heavy weapon upgrade rather than its own unit. I haven't played against it yet, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the mortar was used a lot here, like the mortar and shore trooper combination, not as much because they had because of, like, the actual mortar weapon, so much as it was really good for generating aim tokens and giving you perfect activation control on almost every round and stuff like that. The weapon itself, though, is fine. You know, it's...
I mean, it's suppressive with critical 1, so it usually does somewhere between 0 and 1 damage when it shoots at somebody, but it's always dropping 1 to 2 suppression, which is super good. Especially when you got 3 of them and a bunch of other guys who have range 4 guns.
So outside of official con events, I think some of the other things that we're looking forward to is just getting to sit down and play games. Because you mentioned bringing other games like Loop and Chewy and all that, and I'm gonna bring one army of Legion. I guess maybe I should bring Rebels if we're gonna try to team up, although I don't know.
Well, it doesn't sound likely. Bring whatever, and then, I mean, I'm sure before Friday or after Friday, any day that's not Friday, we can find a table to play each other on. That would be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping to have a clone army done by then. Most of my core units are pretty close to done. Working on Barks and Commanders right now, but we shall see. That's what I'm going to shoot for. If it's not done, I'll just grab Rebels, or maybe I'll grab Imperial since you're bringing Rebels. In any event, doesn't matter. We're going to try to sit down and just play some games. I'm also going to bring a couple of kill teams, 40k kill teams, so that's, only a few guys per team. It's not like a whole 1,500, 2,000 point 40k army. It's just like 100 points of dudes. And then some models for Age of Sigmar Warcry, because that's only a few dudes too.
As far as non-Star Wars things go, I want to find like a demo of Crisis Protocol. You can look away while I do that, I guess.
Well, I was thinking about that earlier, because you and Sugi are definitely going to do some Crisis Protocol, and I will be more than happy to stand there and watch, and maybe the gameplay will be exciting and dynamic, and it will catch my interest, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than I thought.
I saw some of the terrain that they sell for that game at my game store. They had some on there. I'm really jealous.
Oh yeah,
I saw like New York City vehicles in one of them. They look kind of cool.
Yeah, like there was like a gas tanker truck and like a cab and a taxi cab and just all kinds of stuff like that. It's all like
comes with like a stand for the Daily Bugle in the core set, I think.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, they're slowly doing it with Legion, but I wish we could get more of that for Legion too.
Yeah, like not every piece you release has to come with some kind of gameplay effect cards too.
Well, it does sound like, from what I've heard is it's not that they don't want to, it's that there's been licensing
I'm sure
stuff
that
they've
sense.
had to work out.
Okay, yeah, maybe
Really?
if you don't put gameplay elements with it, is it a game piece anymore, or is it like a figure?
Yeah, I don't know if that's it. I just know that like they've said that they've wanted to do terrain. This was at the first Gen Con,
Mm-hmm.
and it was one of those things where it was like I heard from other people who were playing at Gen Con who were talking to one of the FFG guys there, but I don't know who they were talking to or if this guy even knows what he's talking about either. So it's all pretty hearsay, but I mean, it also kind of makes sense. So
Yeah. Well, and even with Warhammer stuff, you can buy a big box of terrain, and at the very least, it comes with a couple of missions. So, I mean, they could do the same thing here if they just want to release a box of scattered terrain with things like more crates or big tankers or Connex-sized containers. That's the thing they can do with a mission.
Obviously missing out on a market because, there's so many other companies that put out that same stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't even seen Tatooine Homestead, Mission, Murder.
That would be a fun mission.
Is that the mission? Your mission is to go murder?
Well, you can have a mission where
Owen?
the one player is trying to defend them and the other player is trying to flamethrower them.
Because they're going to have civilians now, right? In one of the upcoming expansions. They're going to have hostages, so why not?
Baru and Owen figures, and also their skeletons as figures that you can place down.
Oh.
So when one of them dies, you replace that with the skeleton figure.
I mean, that sounds like a great scenario to me. We should just write that one. It would be multi-level. It would go lower down into that burrow in the ground.
You mean their house?
Yes, but it goes down. It's a burrow, and yes, they have living accommodations down there. But the central courtyard area is just a hole in the ground.
How often do you think they do? How often do you think they had to just clean tons of sand out of there? Like every time it got windy out.
I don't think as frequently as you think, because it had been give or take 30 years since anyone had been there, and it wasn't full when Ray visited.
Yeah, that barely had anything. I mean, look at that one dude.
Maybe
nothing wrong with that.
Maybe that old lady was always cleaning it out.
Doing her best.
Yeah,
she's like the Lars's family.
The housekeeper.
Yeah, housekeeper, and
Creature.
Out of loyalty, she never really stopped.
The shutout mapes.
Yeah, and then this lady just shows up, and the lady, and she's like, "What the f- you doing here? This is not your house."
Ray, who? Please say Lars. Please say Lars. Please say Lars.
Skywalker. Oh, one of that. Yeah. Owen and Baru told me about some Skywalkers. Just showed up one day and stole their protocol droid.
That's right. thief, Skywalker, thief.
I liked it. Now I'm thinking about Obi-Wan giving the kid to Owen and Beru. And Beru's like, so it's Luke Lars, huh? And he's like, no, not my kid. I'm his uncle. We're sticking with Skywalker. I'm not taking that much responsibility.
And he looked so proud there, staring off into the setting sun. And he's like, oh, this is going to be nothing but trouble.
I like, because she doesn't consult him. Obi-Wan dumps it with Beru, leaves, and she goes up to him, and she's like, hey, look what I got. And he's like, whoa.
He's just like, I couldn't be bothered to come say anything. I'm too busy looking at the sun.
You know, maybe he was just sort of expecting it. I mean, he probably grew up with Shmi telling him stories of her immaculate conception. And so when Beru just shows up with a baby, he's just like, he figured that's where they come from.
You're not wrong.
He's like, well, we did kiss 6 weeks ago.
One of these days, it's going to pop out. Oh my goodness.
That's why he's so grumpy, because eventually he found out the truth. He's like, I could have been getting laid this whole time.
I think we've discussed, like, there's, what is the state of sex education in the Star Wars galaxy? Obviously none at Jedi Academy.
Well, according to what George Lucas and Irving Kershner, like, kissing is a sex scene in Star Wars, so maybe that's all it takes in Star Wars.
That could be. You're right. Like, technically they're humans, but damn, that's saliva. Strong stuff. Yeah, actually, you know what? We got another comment in patron chat. I am looking forward to seeing some of the third-party mods for people's models out there.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun looking at paint jobs and stuff.
Probably going to see some Baby Yodas and some the Mandalorian stand-in models for Boba Fett, probably.
Well, we'll see. Depends on how, for the official tournament,
hey,
we'll see.
It's at LVO. They let somebody who modded somebody played it at LVO with their Rebel Army modded to be completely Wookiees. They had Wookiees riding on ATRTs. They had Wookiees replace the Rebel troopers. Wookiees everything.
Weird.
So
wow.
That's extra weird, since there's just a unit that's like, this specifically is Wookiees.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd say if they figure that can work, there's, you know, there's a room for a lot of other stuff then at that point.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm just going to make my entire Imperial army Palpatines.
I mean, clones.
Exactly.
Dark magic. Cloning.
Oh my gosh.
We know it happens. With the good old Sheev.
I don't think I have any fancy mods in my current list. I was planning on using
just
Skippy as a proxy for R2. And just having the R2 model on hand in case somebody was picky about it. Because the miniatures are essentially the exact same size.
Yeah.
I just get more joy looking down on the table and seeing R5D4. Giving him a purpose.
I think it'd be funny. Someone has to have already done this. I'm sure it's just one Google search away. But if they took the R2 model and used some of the bits from the Boba Fett package, they could put R2 on the flying stand and the little booster flames like coming out of his back. So they have a flying R2.
That would be really funny because R2 specifically has a keyword on his card that says he is grounded and cannot climb or leave the ground.
Really?
He happens to... One of his command cards lets him fly for a turn. Otherwise, he's stuck. So if you are running R2, or a Dewback, or a Tauntaun, you gotta watch out for Operative Vader or regular Vader, because Vader has a card that lets him lift up a dude and stick him on top of something within height 1. So normally you just throw some Rebel troopers up there, some of them might die getting thrown up there. If you throw a Dewback, a Tauntaun, or R2-D2 up there, they're stuck because creature troopers can't climb and R2 can't climb. So if you're worried about Tauntauns, bring Vader, use that card. It's kind of a one-trick pony, but you can just get rid of them for the whole rest of the game. They'll be able to shoot from up there, but they can't ever get back down. R2 can get down if they happen to bring that card that lets them fly for a turn. But that can be a real ratty way to get rid of Tauntauns.
Interesting.
Yup.
So, okay. Yeah, I agree with chat. That has to get patched.
Why?
I mean, that just seems
no better.
like...
Don't run towards Darth Vader.
Okay.
Seems fine to me.
I've also never seen it happen in the wild, and there's a lot of creature players and Vader players around.
So is it more like Magical Christmas Land, or is it a thing that actually happens?
It could happen.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it could.
Operative Vader is very powerful, potentially overpowered, and Tauntauns are super popular. They did get a bit of a nerf lately, but I don't expect that to keep them out of a lot of lists at Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And in retrospect, I don't think I've practiced against any Rebel lists that have Tauntauns.
I mean, when you look at a lot of maps, I mean, you still would have to engage Vader close enough to a building or something that you could put something with a base as big as a Tauntaun or a Dewback on top of. So, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a...
And if it happens to you once, you're probably never going to let that happen to you again.
Honestly, if it happened to me, I probably would just be laughing too hard to...
Right. It's very funny, but I could see somebody being really pissed about it. It's not fair. You can't do that.
So, I just had a thought, and you'll probably say that sounds dumb. But I'm going to throw it at you anyways. Leo?
That's dumb.
There you go. I was waiting for
me.
it. So, in both 40K and Age of Sigmar, you've got a
Never heard
whole...
of it.
I can't tell if you're being facetious or not.
You've got a hole. Got it.
Got a hole? Okay.
What?
That's what you said. You've got a hole, and then you stopped.
Okay, I said I couldn't tell if you were being facetious.
Right,
You said
before
he'd
that,
never
you
heard
said...
Before that.
Yes.
Before that,
You've got a
you said
whole
you've got a hole.
phase. You have a whole phase in
whole
Warhammer
phase.
dedicated to psychic or magic attacks, basically. And whenever a wizard or something casts a spell or uses a psychic attack,
Lightning bolt.
the opposing side, if they have wizards or psychers, get a chance to try to negate that spell or psychic attack. So do you think it would be interesting, or would it just be cumbersome on the game to allow, if you had a force user, to let them try to counter the opponent's force user?
Nope, don't like it.
Okay. I didn't think you would.
The only time you really even see that happen is tug of war on Chewie Transport in Rise of Skywalker.
And
on the lightsaber in The Last Jedi.
And a little bit in Revenge of the Sith.
And The Force Awakens.
It's like we're thinking about throwing Tauntauns on a building, so now I'm picturing it just like the transport in Rise of Skywalker. So the Tauntauns just end up exploding.
This sounds great. You're selling it. You're really selling it. All right. Well, aside from all that, I'm looking forward to not every single meal being eating out, because I'm going to be driving around. I'm going to get groceries because we're going to be there for more than a few days, and but we're at least going to get some deep dish pizza. Hopefully Lou Malnati's, because Giordano's is fine, and I'm sure they have their they're lovers of Giordano's. But
I'll just get whatever. I'm not.
Yeah, no, Giordano's is good. It's fine, but
It's
I mean,
fine.
you can also get, like, at least for me, like, I could get Giordano's down in the cities.
Exactly.
So if I was going to be at Adepticon, I'd definitely get Lou Malnati's because that is good.
Yes, it is. And I don't know if you guys have gotten Portillo's up there yet, but we have one here. I've yet to go to it, but everyone says Portillo's is amazing.
Yeah, never heard of it, so no, don't think it's up here.
All right. Well, I mean, it's where you go to get sausages and super good French fries, apparently. So hopefully we can get some Italian beef, Italian sausage, and some French fries, and have a good old time. And yeah, I think aside from that, it's going to be a lot of gaming. I feel like I'm going to be spending a lot of time just trying to produce content, and I imagine, Joe, you'll be doing a lot of the same.
Yeah,
just trying to make.
I'm going to
make
have
it
my camera on. I'm going to be rushing, doing just impromptu interviews with random people, and be like, Star Wars,
go, tell me.
I don't want to do that, but I will be carrying my camera around, trying to.
It's like with Palpatine. What do you think?
Would you? You could have a picture of him printed out and be like, "Would you this?" Or I could bring a deck of Trivial Pursuit cards, and we can just quiz random people, and if they get it right, I don't know. That could be a fun video.
They win a business card from us.
They win a night with Sheev.
Oh.
I mean, actually, I kind of don't dislike that.
One night with Sheev?
No. Just interviewing random people. Or not interviewing. Quizzing them with the card and seeing. They're not super hard, but random bystanders, I think they'd probably be perfect for that level of trivia.
Mm-hmm. I know I've still got my Trilogy Edition Trivial Pursuit around here somewhere.
The edition I have
there. It's right there.
Yeah, you looking at it?
Well, mine anyway.
Well, yes, not mine.
I have the Black Series edition from 2015. And I have a different version called Trivia Game.
What?
It's still in the shrink wrap.
Is that from the makers of Han Solo card game?
I think... I can't see it from where it is on my shelf, but I think it is a Hasbro thing. Well, so is Trivial Pursuit, but
I suppose that's true.
I think it's got a lower age range in mind. I haven't opened it and looked at the questions yet, but the Black Series one we have a video of, and I think it's a great video. Most of the questions were pretty easy, but when they're really easy, it kind of evens out. When like everybody gets them all right, you're just waiting for the one person to slip up. So I think it worked. I kind of want to do that. I need to find my other memory card. Got to make sure my camera's not going to let me down. Should get like a shoulder-mounted rig for my camera, like Bill
We're gonna get
Burr's
you a
character.
Steadicam?
No, like Bill Burr's character in Mandalorian. Like it pops up on my shoulder.
Uh-huh.
That way I
Oh, you know
things.
what? I suppose by the time this comes out, we will already be knee-deep in it. But you can remind people if they just want to see the results of the Bounty Off March Madness.
Yeah, check out our Twitter. We're all throughout March, and it's probably going to run in April because Adepticon's going to make it take a break. We're doing a Madness tournament bracket, just facing bounty hunters off against each other. And I can't wait to see who wins between Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, because they're facing off round one. It's just being resolved with Twitter polls.
It was completely random seeding. There was no like number 1 seed and number 16 seed going on with it.
Nope.
All right. do we have anything else that we want to discuss? Leo, did you have anything that you wanted us to pick up for you, like more boxes of Dune CCG?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That was...
We'll have to keep an eye out for Star Wars CCG stuff, because I don't own any of that. Maybe I'll get my very first pack.
Ooh.
We can do an unboxing and
Yeah.
I'll not know what it is.
Even if you just buy one pack, we can do a crack-a-pack.
Yeah.
Well, if that's...
Man, you're stealing my ideas for content.
Well, we can gauge interest with me. I guess we'll see how much space I have in my luggage, but I guess I could probably end up picking up the droid tank when I'm there. Although it might be out just regularly before then, which I think it comes out like the Friday of or something. I don't know.
That reminds me, I am picking up the Forge World components for a Hobbit hole while I'm there. So that will be fun. That's going to be my big project when I come back from Adepticon, is building a Hobbit hole.
Is that anything like a Wampa hole?
That's going to be my second project. I will make the Wampa hole. And I will stick Commander Luke up in the ceiling of it.
Okay, well, good night then.